first mass shooting at a college campus is remembered.
A town is still cleaning up the damage after a flash flood swept through a Baltimore suburb.
Voters speak up on an issue they finally get the chance to vote on in tomorrow's primary election. Good morning. It's Monday, August 1st, 2016. Thanks so much for waking up with us. I'm Megan Judy.
And I'm Justin Kolar.
And I'm Tim Schmidt. We've had a lot of lightning and thunder and rain all night ever since yesterday evening. We really had it ever since about yesterday morning. Some of those showers were rolling through the Ozarks. Well, those have continued. We have multiple flash flood warnings in effect at least until 5:30 this morning.
The University of Texas will rededicate its Tower Garden to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the mass shooting on the school's campus.
The shooting at UT was considered the nation's first mass shooting on a college campus. Today, a new memorial to the victims will be unveiled. The clock at the main building will stop at 11:48 a.m. Central Time when the shooting began and will remain stopped for 24 hours. On August 1st, 1996, Charles Whitman killed 14 people and wounded 32 others over a 95-minute span. Whitman was finally stopped when he was fatally shot by Austin police. Tomorrow, voters will have the chance to decide on increasing a hotel tax to fund a new airport terminal.
Proponents of the measure, Proposition 1, say the Columbia Regional Airport, built in 1969, is dated and in need of major renovations. KMUH 8's Lauren Donovan is live in the studio to tell us more about one of the issues of the old airport.
And during a meeting last week, proponents of the measure told me that the airport is not compliant with standards established by the Americans with Disabilities Act. Former
Jefferson City voters will have the chance to decide on the 30-year renewal of the capital improvement sales tax tomorrow as well. The half-cent tax, renewed every 5 years, funds projects in public works, parks, and public safety sectors. Projects you may be familiar with include Highway 179 and McCarty Street. The frequent renewal of the tax is something proponents argue keep its administrators in check.
If we say this is the way the money is going to be spent and these are the projects that are going to take place over the next 5 years, and it doesn't happen, then people can say no. The next time they can say no. You didn't do what you said you needed to do.
McCannany says as far as she knows, there exists no organized opposition to the tax. The pilot of the hot air balloon that crashed in Texas over the weekend, killing 16 people, had been arrested in Missouri for driving while intoxicated in 2000. 49-year-old Alfred Skip Nichols was identified as the pilot by his friend and roommate, who says Nichols was a good pilot. However, the Missouri Better Business Bureau warned consumers about doing business with him after complaints about his balloon touring company. The hot air balloon caught fire and crashed over the weekend in central Texas. According to reports, the balloon's launch was delayed by as much as 20 minutes. Authorities are working to find out why and whether or not the delay made an impact on the flight. The names of the victims have been released, including a newlywed couple who left behind a 5-year-old son.
2 people
Rain or more has fallen in most of Missouri at this time since yesterday morning, even, because you got to factor in that rain that fell over the Ozarks early yesterday morning.
It's been a lot.
Something very similar, kind of the pattern is to what happened over the 4th of July weekend.
Right.
Just that stagnant training kind of system. Well, we get another one of those continuing this morning.
Okay. Thanks, Tim.
An update on the little girl who nearly drowned at the Lake of the Ozarks. Last night, University Hospital told us they no longer have a patient matching her name. It happened Friday afternoon. A 2-year-old girl who did not know how to swim entered the water without a life jacket. A nearby witness was able to save her. A man is waking up in the Callaway County Jail after stealing 2 iPads from a Fulton church. 22-year-old Chance Barnhouse was taken into custody yesterday for first-degree burglary and felony stealing. His bond is set at $15,000.
Beyond Flint, Michigan, another American city is dealing with the problem of water tainted by lead.
This time it's in public schools in Portland, Oregon, where the water coming out of many of the faucets and water fountains has been found to have elevated levels of lead. NBC's national correspondent Miguel Emeguer has more.
If you suspect a UTI, you need to see a doctor pretty quickly.
Retail experts have picked up on a major shift in back-to-school spending that should bode well for consumers.
NBC's Chris Clackham has details on how to make the most of your August shopping.
You may be throwing out less round milk in the future. Scientists have figured out a way to make milk stay fresh longer. The new method involves pasteurizing milk for a shorter amount of time, cutting pasteurization down for 30 seconds to 0.02 of a second. The result is a shelf life for up to 63 days. The ride-sharing company Uber has relied heavily on using Google Maps, but that's coming to an end soon. Uber is investing $500 million into creating its own competing map service. According to the Financial Times, this will help Uber start developing autonomous car services and eventually compete with Google's self-driving cars. Dozens of postal employees in Chicago needed medical treatment over the weekend because of heat in their building.
The temperature inside almost reached triple digits because of a broken air conditioning system. As CNN's Laura Podesta reports, some employees ended up in the hospital.
Paramedics, fire.
The postal facility will resume its normal service on Monday.
Coming up, I've got more info for you on an important issue with the Columbia Regional Airport. Stay tuned for more.
Holy thunder.
Yeah, my
Golly
goodness.
Moses. I thought the lights were going to come down.
I think it hit the tower out
Right,
there.
4:55, that's Columbia Regional Airport. You might be awake. I mean, you know,
Yeah, it might
nature's
have waken
alarm
you up.
clock. We'll be right back.